Hi, I'm John with Behringer, and welcome to Music Group Studios. Today I'd like to talk to you about the monitor or solo bus on X-Air digital mixers and some of the options you have for setting that up. Today we're going to use the X-Air app for iPad. So looking at the X-Air app on the iPad here, we can check out the settings for our monitor bus by going to the Setup button and then tapping on Audio MIDI. And you can see we have a whole section for monitoring here. Now remember, this is going to be controlling what's coming out of your headphone output on the X-Air mixer here. Now you want that to be different than your left-right output, of course, because if you want to solo during the show, you don't want that to affect your main mix as well. So that's why we have this monitor solo bus available. So taking a look at some of the options that we have, starting at the top left here, we see PFL and AFL. And that stands for pre-fader listen and after fader listen. So for example, when I solo a channel, do I want the level that's coming into my headphones, do I want that to be the same as it is going to my main left-right? That would be AFL because the fader affects it. If I just want it to be the regular level, just coming right off the preamp, you can hit solo and that would be PFL, pre-fader listen. Now sometimes that's usually going to be a lot louder than your AFL listen, and that's why you see another button here that is dim PFL. So if you have that tapped on, it'll automatically dim that PFL signal when you solo it. So that's good to have. You also have a solo level control. You can also trim that back here with the source trim option. You have a mono button, so you can check out your mix in mono, and just a regular dim button here as well, so you can, at any point you can dim that, and you can control how much attenuation is happening. And finally, you have your solo source, which is generally going to be set on left-right, but you do have some other options that you can use, which will basically be the default signal that feeds those outputs. So if I was to choose, for example, USB 1718 here, the return from my computer, 17 and 18, would be piped directly to my headphone output, and that would be the main solo source by default. So those are the options you have here, and you can see you have a few other options as well. But generally, you're probably going to be either left-right, either pre-fader listen or after fader listen, depending on your preference. So this is the monitor page for the X-Air series of digital consoles here on the X-Air iPad app. I hope you picked up some tips. I'm John with Behringer, and thanks for joining us here at Music Group Studios.